7:16, welcome back to Good Day Columbia. You know, it's regarded as the third most popular beverage in the world behind water and tea. It is beer. Of course, now the World Beer Festival coming to town on Saturday at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. We've talked about that with Core. Rick Grainger from Betmar Liquids. You guys make beer.
We do. When you go to the beer fest, there's a lot of different beers people love,
Right.
like your ales and your bocks and your stouts. And any of those beers, just like Betty Crocker has a recipe, we've got recipes. So any beer that they would like, you just let us know. We can assemble that for them.
So, and you can actually, folks, I can take this home and make my own beer.
You can. If you got the right recipe and ingredients and equipment, you can make basically any beer. In the United States, which you probably know, sells more craft beers than anybody even in Europe.
That's
so
amazing.
There's a lot of different beers. So kind of
walk me through the process real quick. What kind of how it goes from looks like some hops to my mouth.
Exactly. Well, basically, when you get a kit, it's got all your ingredients that you would need. This particular one is a pale ale. So it does have your liquid malt, it's got a dry malt, it has your grains, and it has your hops that you need. And the reason you need hops is because beer will finish sweet.
Okay.
So you have hops to help bitter it, to help make it smooth, and you also have hops for aromas.
Okay.
And that's how you classify the different beers. Now, if you have grains, what I recommend to start with is put your grains in this grain bag. And the reason you do it because you're going to seep it like tea in a few minutes.
Okay.
And I just tie this to the handle.
Oh, so this is a big crock pot then?
It's basically
okay.
but however, you only want to use stainless steel. You do not want to use aluminum or enamel because you're going to pick up those flavors.
All right.
So only stainless steel. Now, this kit will make 5 gallons of beer, which is 2 cases of beer. So basically, in a 5-gallon kit, you would use 2 gallons of water for the simple reason you want to achieve what they call hot break.
Sure.
You'll know when you reach it because it's going to start coming out of the pot. And the reason you do that is because it's going to break the starches down, which will convert into alcohol.
And that's the stuff you want. So 5 gallons
Exactly.
of beer, my Uncle Mike would call that a Sunday afternoon. All right, so what's the next step here? Just real
Then the
quick.
next step, once you do that, you've got what they call, it makes wort. And
Wort.
it's got, that's what they call the beer. It's actually a wort at this time because it does not have any yeast. So you've got to let it cool down to the approximate temperature, which is a perfect pitching temperature, and then you pitch in your yeast. And once you pitch the yeast in, at that point, that's called, then you take it and you can rack it. It's really siphoning, but they call it racking. Then you take it, after it's cooled, you're going to rack it into this bucket.
Here.
Now that is a primary fermenter. And
That's just basically a bucket with a thing on top. But
yeah,
makes sense.
and this is an airlock. And the reason you have this, you put water about halfway because oxygen cannot go through the water to damage your beer.
Brilliant.
However, the CO2 is allowed to escape, so now it's fermenting, and you can actually see it bubbling.
Okay.
Called a primary fermenter.
All right.
Then
So after you ferment
eventually,
it,
then after you ferment it, then you go into a secondary fermenter, which is here. Then you take the airlock and you place it here.
Okay.
Reason you do that is you want to get it off of the dead yeast because you don't want a yeasty taste in your beer. All right, so you need to do this. It takes approximately about 3-4 weeks for the complete process to ferment. And then the final stage, of course, is the bottle. Then you bottle it, and you use priming sugar, which this is your priming sugar, and then it makes 2 cases of beer, and this is how you cap, because it comes with your kit, comes with
Look at
caps,
that.
and then you cap it on just like a commercial beer.
there you go. How long does it take you to do from so you said about 2 hours.
It takes about 2 hours to do this process.
And then a 4-week fermenting
and then
process.
about 4 weeks
So it's a big
fermenting.
tease, really.
It's a big
tease.
yeah.
All right, Rick, it doesn't sound like making your own beer is too hard, but it's
not
definitely
hard.
an art. That is
It
great
is.
stuff. Thank you for sharing us the mystery behind Homer's favorite beverage, no doubt. World Beer Festival is happening this weekend at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Great times. Again, it's not about a big frat party. It really is about the love and the taste of beer. So thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you very much as well.
You got it. We'll get details for you on this and, of course, the big festival at midlandsconnect.com.